Mulalo is clearly furious, his voice filled with emotion, as he demands that justice be served for the assault he has suffered. The phone call establishes the intense anger and pain Mulalo is experiencing, as well as his desire for immediate retaliation. It's a raw and emotional moment that sets the tone for the rest of the episode, leaving viewers wondering whether Mulalo will seek vengeance or consider the broader implications of his actions. After the conversation ends, Azwindini, Mulalo's close friend and confidant, enters the scene. Azwindini is concerned for Mulalo, urging him to take a step back and think carefully about his decision. He reminds Mulalo that while his feelings are valid, pursuing formal charges and going public with the assault might cause irreparable damage, not only to Nndwakhulu, but to Mulalo's own life, his reputation, and their community. Azwindini makes a compelling case for peace, but Mulalo's anger continues to cloud his judgment. The tension between the two friends builds, as Mulalo insists that he must go forward with the charges to make Nndwakhulu answer for what he has done. Despite Azwindini's caution, Mulalo is resolute in his belief that justice must be served, no matter the cost. The situation becomes even more complicated when Muvhango, a wise elder in the community, arrives. With his calm and measured presence, Muvhango listens to Mulalo's frustrations and offers a different perspective. He reminds Mulalo that true justice isn't about revenge, but rather about considering the long-term consequences of his actions. Muvhango wisely advises that Mulalo think not only about his own pain, but also about the impact his decision will have on his family, his community, and the future. Muvhango's words carry weight, but Mulalo remains conflicted. His anger continues to push him towards seeking retribution. As Mulalo struggles to make sense of it all, Susan, his wife, enters the scene. Her voice is calm but filled with concern. She understands Mulalo's hurt and frustration, but urges him to think about the bigger picture, their family, their children, and the life they've built together. Susan points out that while seeking justice is important, revenge will only lead to further pain, especially for those they love. Her emotional plea cuts through Mulalo's anger, forcing him to consider the impact of his decisions on their family's future. Yet Mulalo remains torn. He knows that justice for the assault is important, but his love for his family pulls him in the opposite direction. Just when Mulalo is beginning to feel overwhelmed by the weight of everyone's advice, James, an old friend and respected figure in the community, steps in. James offers another layer of wisdom, echoing the sentiments of Azwindini, Muvhango, and Susan. He tells Mulalo that acting out of anger and vengeance will only bring more harm in the long run. James encourages him to find a way to move forward without letting the anger control him, as it will only create more enemies and more conflict. His words are a sobering reminder that revenge might feel satisfying in the short term, but it can destroy everything Mulalo holds dear. Throughout the episode, Mulalo's inner turmoil is evident. He is torn between the desire to punish Nndwakhulu for the assault and the realization that pursuing this path could come with painful consequences. His friends and family have given him the same advice: to think about the future, to choose the path that leads to healing, not destruction. But despite all the counsel, Mulalo struggles to make a decision that will not only affect him, but also his loved ones and his community. Meanwhile, in a dramatic twist, towards the end of the episode, Shaz, Tenda's sister, points a gun at James. The tension rises as Shaz stands firm, her gun aimed at him. The motive behind this action is unclear, but it's a shocking moment that leaves viewers on edge, unsure of what will happen next. Will Shaz pull the trigger? What does this mean for the relationships between the characters involved? This final moment creates a cliffhanger that sets up the drama for the next episode. The episode ends with Mulalo standing alone, reflecting deeply on everything that has been said to him. He finally asks for time to think, unable to make a final decision in the heat of the moment. This moment of pause is crucial. It's a turning point where Mulalo acknowledges that he needs time to reflect and consider what's truly important. The episode closes with Mulalo standing in silence, staring out the window, contemplating his next move. Will Mulalo choose to seek justice and risk everything for his own sense of right, or will he let go of his anger and find a way to forgive? And will Shaz go through with her drastic decision involving James?